Everything happens for a reason. Hi everyone. Today I want to share a message that could change the way you look at life's twists and turns. It's a simple truth: everything happens for a reason. Now, I know when you're in the middle of a storm, when life hits you with setbacks, it's hard to see any purpose in the pain. It's easy to ask, why me? Why now? Why now? But let me tell you something: those challenges, those roadblocks are not there to stop you. They're there to shape you. Every failure, every disappointment, every moment of heartache carries a lesson. Sometimes life isn't rejecting you, it's redirecting you. Think about it: the dream job you didn't get, the relationship that didn't work out, the opportunity that slipped through your fingers. At the time, it felt like the end. But later, you realized it was clearing the path for something greater. I've seen people stand up after life knocked them down and turn their setbacks into setups for comebacks. And you can too. But here's the secret: you have to believe that every moment, good or bad, is working in your favor. Think of a seed planted in the soil. It doesn't sprout instantly. It sits there buried in darkness, struggling to push through the dirt. But it's in that struggle that it gains the strength to grow. You're no different. The dark times aren't your end, they're the fertile ground where your growth begins. The question isn't, why is this happening to me? The question is, what is this teaching me? How can I use this? When you embrace this mindset, you take control. You stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something that happens for you. So here's my challenge to you: the next time life throws you a curveball, don't just sit there and wallow self-pity. Stand up, dust yourself off, and say, this is not the end of my story. This is the chapter where the hero learns how to rise. Because everything happens for a reason. And the reason is to prepare you for your greatness. Life's challenges are not designed to break you, they're designed to build you. Think about the moments in your life when you faced the toughest trials. At the time, they may have felt overwhelming, like an insurmountable mountain blocking your path. But when you look back, what do you see? You see growth. You see resilience. You see a stronger version of yourself who will emerge from those trials. Challenges aren't random events, they are stepping stones strategically placed to help us grow into the people we're meant to become. Imagine if everything in life came easily. Would you ever know the depth of your strength? Would you ever discover the full capacity of your determination? It's the resistance, the struggle, the effort to push through that creates the strength you need to keep climbing. Obstacles teach us to think differently, to be creative, to persevere. They reveal our true character. When life throws you a curveball, it's not the challenge itself that defines you, but how you respond to it. Do you give up and walk away? Or do you dig deep and fight for the outcome you want? I think of every successful person you admire. Behind their achievements is a story of challenges they overcame, times they were knocked down but chose to get back up. Their setbacks weren't the end of their story, they were pivotal chapters that shaped their journey. When you face a setback, remember that it's not there to close a door, it's there to open a new one. Maybe the path you were on wasn't the one meant for you. Maybe the obstacle is nudging you towards something better, something more aligned with your purpose. Growth doesn't happen in comfort, it happens in the face of difficulty. In the moments that test your limits. So, when challenges arise, don't see them as the end. See them as the beginning of a new opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become the best version of yourself. Failure can be a hard pill to swallow. It stings, it disappoints, and it can make us question our worth. But let me ask you this: how often have you looked back at something you thought was a failure, only to realize later that it was a blessing in disguise? That's because failure isn't the end, it's a redirection. It's life nudging you, sometimes pushing you toward a path you might not have seen otherwise. Think about the times you didn't get the job you desperately wanted, or the relationship you thought would last forever fell apart. In those moments, it felt like the world was crashing down. But what came next? Maybe a better opportunity, one that matched your skills and values more closely. Maybe you found someone who truly understood and supported you. Failure isn't rejection, it's a sign that something greater is waiting for you. Sometimes life's no is actually a yes in disguise. It's a yes to better opportunities, to personal growth, to paths that align more deeply with your purpose. When you fail at something, it forces you to pause, to reassess, and to recalibrate. That process, though uncomfortable, is essential for growth. If you never fail, you never learn what works and what doesn't. Failure also builds resilience. Each time you pick yourself up and try again, you grow stronger. You gain new insights, sharpen your skills, and develop the determination to keep moving forward. The truth is, you can't appreciate success without experiencing failure. The struggle gives the victory its value. So the next time you face a setback, remember that it's not a roadblock, it's a detour. It's leading you to places you may never have reached if things had gone exactly as you planned. Trust the process and trust that life has a way of working out for those who keep moving forward. Failure isn't a stop sign, it's a signpost pointing you in a new, better direction. Adversity is one of life's greatest teachers. It has a way of introducing us to parts of ourselves we didn't even know existed, strengths, resilience, and depths of determination that only come to the surface when we're truly tested. While we may not always welcome difficult experiences, they carry lessons that shape us into stronger, wiser, and more capable individuals. I think about a time in your life when you faced a challenge you thought you couldn't overcome. In the moment, it was overwhelming, even painful. But as you worked through it, you learned something valuable. Maybe it was about the power of perseverance, or the importance of asking for help, or the realization that you're far more capable than you give yourself credit for. These are the lessons adversity delivers, lessons you couldn't learn from comfort or ease. Adversity teaches patience when things don't go as planned. It teaches gratitude when you recognize the good even in difficult circumstances. And most importantly, it teaches perspective. What may feel like the end of the world in the moment can later become a pivotal experience that propels you towards something better. There's a reason why people often say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Challenges force you to grow in ways you wouldn't otherwise. They push you out of your comfort zone where real growth happens. Adversity strips away what isn't essential and helps you focus on what truly matters. But here's the thing, the lessons are only valuable if you take the time to reflect on them. When you face adversity, don't just endure it, learn from it. Ask yourself, what is this experience teaching me? How can I use this to become better, not bitter? Every struggle carries a seed of opportunity, but you have to be willing to look for it. The lessons you gain from adversity become tools you can carry with you, equipping you to face future challenges with greater confidence and wisdom. And as you grow stronger, you'll find that what once seemed impossible becomes manageable, even easy. So while no one seeks out adversity, when it comes in, it will embrace it as a teacher. Every challenge is an opportunity to rise, to learn, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Setbacks are not signs of failure, they are setups for comebacks. They are the moments when life tests your resolve, your strength, and your determination. They might knock you down, but they also provide the foundation for you to rise stronger, wiser, and more prepared than ever before. When you experience a setback, it's easy to feel defeated, to believe that the doors to your dreams have closed forever. But in reality, those moments of struggle are often the exact ones that shape your success. A setback forces you to pause, to reassess, and to find new strategies to move forward. It makes you more resourceful and more resilient. I think about a slingshot. The further it's pulled back, the farther it flies when released. That's how setbacks work. They pull you back to prepare you for something greater. You might feel stuck in the moment, but the tension, the resistance, is building the momentum you need for your breakthrough. Some of the most successful people in the world have faced enormous setbacks. They've been fired, rejected, or overlooked, yet they turn those moments into fuel to propel them forward. Their stories remind us that it's not about avoiding challenges, it's about using those challenges as stepping stones to success. Setbacks also reveal who you are. They show you what you're made of. When you're down, when the odds seem stacked against you, and when it feels like there's no way out, that's when you find your true strength. That's when you discover the fighter within you. The beauty of a setback is that it makes the comeback even sweeter. When you rise after a fall, you don't just return to where you were, you surpass it. You carry with you the lessons you've learned, the strength you've built, and the wisdom you've gained. And because of that, your success is more meaningful, more fulfilling, and more impactful. So when life sets you back, don't give up. Don't let temporary defeat define your story. Remember, the setback is just a setup for your next big move, for your next great achievement, for the comeback that will inspire others and prove to yourself that you're unstoppable. Perspective is everything. The way you choose to see a situation can transform how you experience it. When challenges arise, the first instinct is often to ask, why me? Why did this happen? Why am I the one facing this? But that question keeps you stuck. It focuses on blame, on frustration, on everything outside your control. It doesn't help you move forward, it holds you back. Now imagine asking a different question, what can I learn from this? The simple shift changes everything. Instead of dwelling on the problem, you start looking for the lesson, the opportunity, the growth hidden within the challenge. It doesn't mean the situation becomes easy or enjoyable, but it does mean you're taking control of how you respond to it. Life is full of moments that test us. At first glance, they seem unfair, even cruel. But when you look deeper, you begin to see how those moments shape you. They teach you patience when things don't go your way. They teach you strength when you feel like giving up. They teach you resilience when you're tempted to stay down after a fall. Perspective isn't about ignoring the difficulty, it's about reframing it. Instead of seeing obstacles as roadblocks, see them as opportunities to grow. Instead of viewing failures as the end, see them as the beginning of a new approach. When you shift your mindset, you reclaim your power. You're no longer a victim of your circumstances, you become the architect of your response. I think of it this way, two people can face the exact same challenge, but their outcomes will depend on their perspectives. One might focus on what's wrong and feel defeated, while the other looks for solutions and emerges stronger. The challenge didn't change, the mindset did. When you stop asking why me and start asking what can I learn, you open the door to growth. You gain insights you wouldn't have discovered otherwise. You build character and wisdom that prepare you for future opportunities. And most importantly, you remind yourself that no matter what life throws at you, you have the ability to rise above it. The lesson is always there, you just have to be willing to see it. And once you do, every challenge becomes not a burden, but a gift that makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for what's to come. Growth doesn't always happen in the spotlight. It happens in the quiet, in the struggle, and in the moments when no one else is watching. It happens in the darkness when you're pushed to your limits, when you feel lost, when life seems to bury you under the weight of challenges. But like a seed planted in the soil, it is in that very darkness that your potential begins to take root. When a seed is buried, it might seem like it's been forgotten. Covered by dirt, hidden from the sun, it could easily be mistaken for something lost. But beneath the surface, something extraordinary is happening. The seed is breaking open, finding nourishment and sending out roots that anchor it firmly into the ground. It's preparing to grow, even though no one can see it yet. You are no different. In life, there are seasons when you feel buried, overwhelmed by adversity, obscured by setbacks, or overshadowed by uncertainty. But being buried is not the same as being defeated. That darkness you're in is the space where transformation begins. It's where you develop the strength, the resilience, and the character to rise. Growth in darkness teaches patience. It reminds you that progress isn't always immediate, and that some of the most important work happens behind the scenes. It's easy to feel frustrated when results don't come right away, but just like a plant takes time to sprout, your personal growth requires time and nurturing. It's in these hidden moments that you discover who you really are. When you're stripped of comfort and familiarity, you learn to rely on your inner strength. You learn to dig deep, deep, to persevere, to trust the process, even when you can't see the outcome. Darkness forces you to face yourself, to confront your fears and doubts, and to emerge on the other side stronger and more self-assured. And when the time is right, just like the seed, you'll break through. You'll push past the soil, reaching toward the light, transformed by the struggle you endured. What once felt like a setback will reveal itself as the foundation of your growth. The roots you developed in the darkness will keep you steady when you finally bloom. So while the darkness may feel isolating, it's not your enemy. It's your incubator, your proving ground, your preparation for something greater. Growth doesn't happen without struggle, and strength doesn't come without challenge. Embrace the darkness, because it's where your true potential begins to unfold. Life will throw challenges your way, unexpected changes, setbacks, disappointments. These moments often feel out of your control, and in many cases they are. You can't control the weather, the economy, or how others treat you. But here's the truth: while you may not control what happens to you, you always have control over how you respond. And in that response lies your power.
Don't tell people your problems. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have moments in life when the weight of the world seems too heavy to carry. It's natural to feel the urge to share your burdens, to seek solace in someone else's understanding. But let me tell you something: the world isn't always kind to the vulnerable. Not everyone is interested in your struggles, and even fewer are equipped to help you solve them. So here's the truth: stop telling people your problems. Not because your problems don't matter, but because your energy does. Every time you dwell on what's wrong, you're giving it power. You're feeding the very thing that's holding you back. When you complain, the world sees your struggle, but it also sees your surrender. The people around you, friends, colleagues, strangers, may listen, but most will silently wonder, what are you going to do about it? Because the truth is, no one respects excuses. What people respect, what they admire, is resilience. They respect those who rise above their circumstances, those who take their pain, their fear, their doubt, and use it as fuel to drive forward. Life is a battle, and every challenge you face is a training ground. You don't win by shouting about the storm, you win by building a shelter, by standing tall, by moving forward, rain or shine. Now, I'm not saying you should carry everything alone. We all need support, and it's okay to seek guidance. But be careful who you share with. Choose people who inspire solutions, not those who wallow in your problems with you. Speak to those who push you to be better, who challenge you to see the opportunity in the obstacle. And when you must speak of your struggles, don't let them define you. Speak not as a victim, but as a warrior. Say, this is what I'm facing, and this is how I'm fighting. Remember this: the world is watching, and more importantly, your future self is watching. Don't tell people your problems, show them your strength. It's important to recognize that not everyone is capable of understanding what you're going through. Your experiences, emotions, and challenges are unique to you, shaped by your own perspective, background, and circumstances. While sharing your struggles might seem like a way to seek understanding or connection, the reality is that many people simply won't be able to relate. Some may listen out of politeness, but that doesn't mean they truly grasp the depth of what you're feeling. Others may try to offer advice or solutions, but their suggestions often come from their own worldview, which might not align with your reality. Even those who mean well might not have the insight or tools to offer the support you need. Then there are those who lack the willingness to engage at all. They may be preoccupied with their own lives, dealing with their own battles, or simply not interested in delving into someone else's problems. This isn't necessarily a reflection of their character, it's just human nature. People prioritize what feels most immediate or relevant to them. Understanding this can save you from unnecessary frustration or disappointment. Expecting others to fully understand or solve your problems can lead to feelings of isolation when their response doesn't meet your expectations. Instead, focus on cultivating self-awareness and resilience. Seek guidance from those who are truly equipped to help, But don't rely on external validation or sympathy to navigate your challenges. Every action we take, every thought we entertain requires energy. Complaining, while it might feel like a release in the moment, is one of the most draining things we can do. It consumes energy without offering a return. When you dwell on what's wrong and verbalize it repeatedly, you're feeding into a cycle of negativity. That energy, instead of being used constructively, becomes wasted on something that doesn't move you closer to a solution. The mind is like a muscle that responds to how you train it. If you constantly focus on problems, your mind becomes adept at finding more problems. Complaining reinforces this habit, keeping you stuck in the same place rather than moving forward. It doesn't solve anything, it just amplifies the feeling of helplessness. Now imagine redirecting that same energy toward action. Instead of talking about what's wrong, you could be brainstorming ideas, reaching out to someone for advice, or taking small steps toward improvement. Even a tiny effort in the right direction has more power than hours of venting. Energy is limited, and how you use it determines how far you go. Every time you spend it complaining, you rob yourself of the chance to use it productively. It's not just about solving the problem, it's about building momentum, showing yourself that you're capable, and creating the kind of energy that pushes you forward. Perception is a powerful force. How others see you is often shaped not by your true potential or resilience, but by what you choose to show them. When you constantly talk about your problems, even innocently, you run the risk of projecting an image of struggle rather than strength. People may start to associate you with difficulty, viewing you as someone who is overwhelmed or stuck, even if that's not who you truly are. This isn't necessarily a reflection of their character, but a natural human tendency. Most people form judgments quickly based on what they hear and observe. When you focus on your challenges in conversation, even unintentionally, you're shaping the narrative others build about you. Over time, this can affect how they treat you, perhaps with pity instead of respect, or avoidance instead of support. It's not about pretending that everything is perfect or hiding your struggles entirely. It's about being mindful of the story you tell about yourself. When you emphasize your efforts to overcome challenges instead of dwelling on the challenges themselves, you shift the perception. People begin to see your resilience, your determination, and your capacity to rise above. What you project has the power to open or close doors. If you're seen as someone who constantly talks about problems, you may miss opportunities where people might have otherwise turned to you for leadership or collaboration. On the other hand, showing strength and a focus on solutions builds trust and admiration, ensuring that the perception of you aligns with the best version of yourself. In life, what you do carries far more weight than what you say. Words can explain, rationalize, or justify, but they are ultimately fleeting. Actions, however, create tangible proof of who you are and what you stand for. When faced with challenges, it's easy to fall into the trap of discussing them endlessly, seeking validation or empathy. Yet, talking about problems doesn't solve them, it only highlights them. Demonstrating how you overcome obstacles sends a far stronger message. It shows resilience, determination, and the ability to adapt. When people see you actively working toward a solution, they understand your character without you needing to explain it. Actions eliminate the need for words because they are self-evident. They inspire respect and admiration in a way that discussions alone never could. More importantly, actions don't just communicate strength to others, they reinforce it within yourself. Every step you take, no matter how small, builds momentum and confidence. It shifts your mindset from one of helplessness to one of empowerment. Success, even in its earliest stages, speaks volumes. It demonstrates that you're not defined by your circumstances, but by how you respond to them. Letting your actions speak for you also shifts the focus from the problem to the progress. It redirects your energy from explanation to execution, from seeking sympathy to earning respect. Over time, your efforts will create a legacy of perseverance and achievement one that needs no verbal justification. People will see the results and understand your journey through what you've built, not what you've said. Vulnerability is a double-edged sword. It can foster deep connections when shared with the right people, but when exposed to the wrong audience, it can be used against you. Sharing your struggles too freely might seem like an act of trust, but not everyone you encounter will handle that trust with care. Some people may judge you, seeing your challenges as weaknesses, and others might exploit your openness for their own gain. The world is full of different personalities, and not everyone operates with empathy or understanding. Some may use your struggles as fodder for gossip, while others might subtly or overtly undermine you, taking advantage of moments when you're most vulnerable. These reactions can leave you feeling even more isolated or misunderstood than before. By being selective about what you share and with whom, you protect not just your emotions, but also your personal power. Not everyone needs to know every detail of your struggles. Reserve your openness for those who have proven themselves to be trustworthy, supportive, and genuinely invested in your well-being. Sharing selectively ensures that your vulnerability is met with compassion and constructive help rather than judgment or misuse. This approach isn't about building walls, but about setting boundaries. It's about understanding that your challenges are part of your personal journey and that not everyone deserves access to that journey. Protecting your vulnerability is an act of self-respect and self-preservation, ensuring that your struggles don't become tools in the hands of those who fail to value or understand their significance.